Hi, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are. Welcome to the first podcast from AI Authority on quantum computing. Hi, this is Suresh Done. I'm the Chief AI Officer of AI Authority, and I have panel members, Biswan and Deepak, I think. So, Biswan, can you introduce yourself?
Sure. Hello, all. Good evening, good morning, and good afternoon, wherever you are. This is Dr. Biswan. I'm based out of Illinois, Chicago. I have been with the quantum world last 10 years. I would say more than that. So in my bachelor science, I had a quantum physics, quantum chemistry too, in way back in India, and then I studied here a couple of years, and then my postdoc and PhD in quantum computing with AI. So it is a very emerging technology, as you guys are aware of, right? We have been doing a lot in America and rest of the world, like India, China, Japan. There's a huge coming towards the quantum inspired computing. Quantum computing will be inspired the human lives, and not only one area. Uh, I mean, whichever area you wanted to apply quantum computing, it will be the great area across. Thank you, Suresh.
All right. Before we jump into the deeper insights, let me start with some basic questions. Let me start with what is quantum? What is so? Because the viewers here, the audience here, may not be aware of this quantum computing, anything about the quantum itself. So let's start with the basic question: what is quantum? This one.
Yeah. So the quantum computing, yeah, it sounds a little like different to us. I mean, even when I was doing my first research in 2015 in America, little different. But the quantum is okay. Let me brief you this way. Quantum computing is a part of computer science. So it contains four different area. One is quantum physics, quantum mechanics, you can say, quantum chemistry, quantum material science, and quantum computation science. Within the quantum computation science, we have a quantum, what is that? The quantum mathematical formulas. All the formula, all the methods, all the calculations, like derivatives, everything based on the quantum, computational science. So traditional computer, if you look at traditional computer, what we use now, maybe your handheld devices or your CPU or GPU, we use like 0 and 1, like byte, right? So in quantum computing world, we call qubits. Okay, qubits is nothing but a 0 and 1. Both state would be the similar. For example, let me give a similar example. Let's say we are all human being, right? So we think like positive and negative. So what quantum does, the positive we call plus, like 1, and negative we call 0, called minus, right? So quantum stand both positive and negative mind at the same time. So it is called like, superposition state and the supremacy state of the quantum computing, which will be very, very powerful. It's not only the power we are looking at, it's the performance, the utility, the capability within the computing power would be much higher. Is that answer your question, Suresh?
Well, I asked about the quantum.
Yeah.
So what I understand about the quantum is the energy or anything that you see in the world is not continuous, right?
Right.
It comes in packets, right? So like let's take light, right? So we used to think that it is a continuous thing, but
Right.
it is not a continuous thing. It comes in packets like photons, right?
Yep.
So everything which comes in packets is called a quanta or quantum. So that is how the quantum came into existence. So we recently discovered that, and that's how quantum came into existence. And you explained about the quantum computing. And so when it comes to quantum computing, uh, or quantum in general as well, so three terms comes to mind, right?
Yep.
Superposition, entanglement, and interference. So can you explain those three terms? What is
Yep.
superposition? What is
Yeah, you were right.
entanglement
Yeah.
and interference?
You are absolutely right. Rightly said. Quanta is nothing but the power of energy. When you design any quantum computing, whether you are a quantum scientist or quantum physicist or quantum chemistry, you design a computer such a way you have to the power of quantum computer will be to the power n. So when I say I am using 1 qubit, so it will be power equal to the power n. Similarly, as you mentioned, the quantum computer has a property called quantum superposition, quantum entanglement, and quantum interference. So quantum superposition is a state where the quantum particles, for example, quantum qubit, right? We call qubits. So qubit is the power of the quantum computer or quantum machine. So that quantum particles are aligned in a superposition state. Means it doesn't have to decay. Decay means let's say you build a computer, right? Traditional computer. Let's compare both. I'm giving a real example. So when I build a traditional computer, and traditional computer has a certain gigabyte capacity, and the same way we build quantum computer, we have a certain QPU like quantum processing unit, which is called qubit capacity. So same like that will be position in like superposition state means the power of the quantum processing units like QPU when you design any system like in a QPU quantum system. So you will see the power will never decay. Means the power will be always intact across the level. Means suppose let's say you try to do a work starting from morning to evening. So when you start the work, you will have high energy efficiency, right? Because you are starting the fresh mind. So when at the end of the less afternoon, you'll be losing little bit of less energy, right? In evening, during the finishing of work, you will be feeling little dull, right? You will don't have that much energy. But in case of quantum computing, it is not the case. Quantum computing always would be highly superposition in such a way your qubit or a quant or a quanta, whatever you name, right? It will be always in entangled to each other. Means the pairing of the pairing of the the quantum energy are synergized across the positions. I mean across the the let's say across the vertical. Let's say you take about y-axis or x-axis or z-axis, whatever, whatnot, right? So that is called your superpositions. When you entangle, for example, why you need entanglement? Entanglement will give you more energy or supermassy to your quantum system. Entanglement means, let's say you have a proton, you have electron, you have a neutrons that are entangle each other to generate a high degree of efficiency. For example, in any system you work, let's say you work for manufacturing system, you work for healthcare. So each and every system has a capability, like capacity. So we call measuring the capacity, how much it can work for in a given hours or day or given year or given decade, right? So similarly, a quantum particle has that property because quantum the property I mean sorry the quantum material we use, so those quantum material has a high supermassive of properties and then it will never decay. But another point is, as you are living in earth, because quantum computers built in the earth material, right? Everything is coming from this earth itself. It has a tendency to attract the like the natural phenomena. For example, you cannot hold the quantum power as long as you want. No, we fail there because that is called error correction, or it is having an issue with respect to the temperature, the environmental factor. So you may not, I mean, we may not have that much. That is called quantum decoherence. So remember, when you design a system, no matter what role you are playing, you always have to have a quantum decoherence like capability. So if quantum is decoherence, like it is really it is decaying, then your computer will not a quantum computer. It will be called as a classic computer. Means your classic computer has a 0 or 1. Similarly, it works. Is that answer your question,
Yes.
Suresh?
Interference. What is interference?
Interference is nothing but, let's say, okay, I'll give you example. So you um, yeah. So suppose you design a artificial intelligence model to solve a highly critical problem in any of the healthcare industry, right? You want to scan the patient's health records, their MRI, CT scan, all the things. So in order to do, you need to hold certain amount of qubit power. For example, if you are using quantum computing, if you're not using classic computing, I don't care about, because it is called on the classic computers, right? Classic processors. So most of time, these quantum qubits are aligned towards our environmental factor. For example, temperature, the air, or the some other phenomena, right? Because we got the quantum computer through the earth materials, right? So that will definitely interference to your external world, and that will decrease the power the way you want to maintain. So for example, you have a 50,000 qubit quantum computer. It is not ready. We are not getting got there, but 100,000, 10,000 quantum computer qubits are there. 1,000 qubits are there. 50 qubits, 60 qubits. These are all common qubits available in the market. I use 50 qubits generally. But in that case, that interference state where you need to control your QPC, like quantum processing unit, QPU, with respect to qubits. So the qubits should work as per the way it should, right? For example, you are placing a quantum machine learning model, quantum algorithm. So you put input data, or, you get output, something like that. So you need to make sure that it should not have, or it should have the interference capability not changing into across the dimension that we should have.
Okay.
Mhm.
Sounds good. So now,
Sure.
what do you think about the maturity of quantum computing? So is it mature, or still we are in the initial stages, or what do you think of that?
Yes, it's a great point, Suresh and team. I would say quantum computers are not anymore in the lab, for sure. It has been moved towards like real time application. So it was in lab till, I would say, a year last year by Q2, Q3. Now most of the people, like scientists or researcher, we've been using quantum computers since many, right? Then the this year, like most of the company, like big company, even my company, we have one very small processing power. As I told you, quantum computer based on the processing power like qubits. It has been the field, but in the this year Q2 or Q3 or Q4, we may see more computers are live in the system, in the market, and then no matter what country we live, but it has been already available to use.
Okay.
And then guys who are interested, you don't need to buy a quantum computer of 50 qubit, which is 30 million or 40 million. You can use a simulator. It's a very similar task what we do in the real quantum system hardware with your classical, sorry, your qubits. Like, you can do penny lane, you can go to qskit from IBM, you can do Google quantum computer, you can do those kind of things.
And so, what are the impacts of quantum computing, and how quantum computing is revolutionizing the industry?
So it's a great question, Suresh. In my last talk, I was talking to one of the British quantum computing mission. So quantum computers are highly revolutionized, and it is been used in the across the field. For example, governance agency, banking and finance, and then retail, supply chain, manufacturing, especially in US or UK, even in India and China, they're using a lot of things in manufacturing, defense production. Even I heard that people are using for drug research, like what would be our drugs, let's say amoxicillin. We are using amoxicillin, or maybe let's say glipizide for blood sugar, right? So what our drug variation will be happen in 2040, or maybe 3030, right? Who knows? We will be not there in 3030, definitely, but you can see those by keeping this current standard in the drugs research. So it has been used across. So I would say scientists, researchers like you, we have to pay a little more attention to apply into real time application than any kind of like lab work. So we should do more into real time applications.
Okay. Um,
Mm.
and what about how are the quantum hardware and software? Are they scalable, or what is the current market
Uh,
trends?
yeah, this.
Okay.
Yeah, I lost maybe for a minute. I lost it. Yeah, so the scalability I was talking about, right? It is scalable. So to start with, in my lab, I mean, I've been doing research since many years, and I have got a access to 100 qubit quantum computers, 50 and 100. So it is scalable. But the more number of qubit, as I told you, the qubit has the quantum power, quantum, bit information, the quanta energy. So the more number of qubits to start with, you can do very wonderful. So it works on GPU and then QPU, not GPU. I would say more than GPU is QPU, quantum processing units, and then you can do a parallel computing. For example, let's say you are running a factory, let's say automobile factory, Tesla. Now you want to run, let's say, 100 applications in a different way. You can add 100,000 applications the same way. That is called parallel computing. Your computing power will be so heavy or so harness of so exposed, so you can do a lot of work in the same time. So the scalability or the availability are there, definitely. But by keeping that in mind, we have to look at the environmental factor like decoherence. So most of time, the moment it comes to the peak, so quantum computer will be decoherence, then it will not called as a quantum computer. It will be a classic computer as such. So, scientists or researcher has to keep in mind and then, to take a look on that, how they solve this problem.
Right. Okay. Now, what is quantum AI?
Yeah, traditionally we all are in AI market. Everyone of us know AI, right? Artificial intelligence, no matter what tool we use, whether it is a generative AI or agentic AI or any of the AI, responsible AI or whatever. Quantum, when you train this model, that model, like in the quantum machine, when I say quantum machine, it's not like very big thing. Quantum like QPU, quantum Hadamard gate or quantum Q gate, you prepare and you design and you train the model through any of the artificial intelligence model, then that is called quantum AI, artificial intelligence. So only the difference is in a traditional way we use GPU or CPU, right? In the classic AI, but in when you use QPU with the data set of AI data set, whatever model you use, that name as a quantum AI, and which is very very you can do multi-parallel programming. For example, in classic computer, you may use one program at a time, maybe 10 programming at a time, but in you can't do 100 programming at a time. But in QPU, I can show you 1,000 programming at the same time. Multiple people can use multiple places. It's not like someone sitting in China, someone would be in India, someone in the US, someone in the US in multiple places you can do, right? They use quantum computers. One of my peer is there, so he used a lot of things like credit card fraud and the customer onboarding or offboarding, customer account creation to till end of life. So those kind of thing they do everything in those ways.
Okay.
Mhm.
Now, what is the relationship between quantum AI and super AI? Is there any relationship?
Uh,
How they're
yeah,
related?
both are very like fancy because
Mm.
when you say super AI nowadays, AI is doing very superficial work, very promising work. AI can definitely some scientists say that AI will transfer or AI will change the human mind. Not really, because I mean AI is created by humans, right? We all created AI. So when you talk about quantum AI, definitely it has a super AI we call, because you can one of my I'm working a neuromorphic computing in quantum AI. What it does is, let's say your mind, like we all humans, right? We can study the minds at each and every seconds or each and every milliseconds. That level we can study, and then what our mind was thinking in the last in the good state versus bad state or super states, because mind has this state, right? So mind can be very super computers. So that can be done through a super quantum AI. So that the people are researching still, that is called neuromorphic quantum computing, supremacy. So that is already we tested some of the application through healthcare and financial application. So when you enter to a bank, they will scan everything before you enter to the bank. Okay, that state we are getting. And then when you go to the cashier trail, so he'll say, okay, you need $1,000 or you need $2,000 deposit or withdrawal or maybe something like that. So they'll get to know much before the you say as a customer. So that is called super AI in the quantum world. But it will come definitely for sure.
Okay. Um, Now, how do you think we all can get benefited by this quantum computing?
So yeah, it's a very great question. So I would say we all should spend time
Mm,
identifying the real use case, what we can do. Let's say the most human intervention is, let's say we are doing in banking. Let's say the fraudulent activity there. Some of the bad people they do fraud, or I would not say bad or good, but I would say some intentionally they do, right, like synthetic fraud or no matter what. So we should identify those use case, and let's say healthcare. Like a lot of people are cancer, because I, as a researcher, I did a lot of research on the woman breast cancer through quantum model, and it really promising. We applied in Singapore, China, even US. Couple of hospital they are using that model. It is really promising. So if you have such use case like healthcare, treating a cancer, preventing the fraud in synthetic fraud in bank or transaction or telecommunication. Have you heard a word called quantum teleportation? It's coming. It's not coming. It has already been there.
mm,
So by sitting here, you can connect anywhere in the world. You don't need to go for a high-level satellite like Starlink or something like that. So that's coming, and again, you can transfer your multi-modality, right? You, let's say Suresh is here or Bishwa is here in the car. Now Bishwa can be visible in other part, like it's called metaverse, right? You can see that. That's still a very interesting factor. I'm very interested to do that research, but still,
mm,
um, yeah. So these are the use case we need to try, and then I would recommend everyone, whoever, it doesn't you doesn't need to be a PhD or MS student or scientist. You can do quantum computing, your quantum Qiskit in IBM offer, and it's a very easy tool. If you have Python language, you can go ahead and put data set and do the programming and get more and more like hands-on to apply real time. That's the best way to add quantum computers in our life or quantum programming in our life, because that is the future, right?
okay. And then, so India is building a quantum hub, right? So
Right.
we all know. So what are the things that they have to take care so that they will be successful?
Uh, yeah, India is building a large quantum hub in like Andhra Pradesh. There is a place called Vizag. I have been part of that team, not very deep level, but yeah, a little bit of advisory. So they are doing very great. NVIDIA is supporting, IBM is supporting, and TCS, another company, Tata Consulting, they're also part of that event. They're building a large quantum workforce building. See, the thing is, when you build a any system, so you look at the resource, right? Who will be supporting after building the system? Somebody has to go and support, right? So they're building that, and they're very successful, definitely, because in US and India has a very good relationship, and then we are building here, and there are a lot of company, American company are supporting, and then India is really building a big quantum things. Only thing is the people has to get a knowledge of it. Maybe we should spread across the we should catch those people, like who are having a basic mathematical knowledge, like BS Bachelor of Science in Mathematics, because all the descriptive mathematics, all the calculus, algebra, the Gauss algorithm, Peterson algorithm, those are algorithm are based on the mathematical algebra, right? Or the programming, linear programming. So that is one. And the people who have a physics background like me, they should have a physics, let's say quantum physics. It's nothing but what you said, quantum energies, right? So they should have that. And then people who have a chemistry, like chemical properties, they understand what chemistry works or how the material science, when you choose all the quantum metal or material properties, those things they have to understand. I think it's a great vision mission. I would say national quantum mission India is doing. So yeah, thanks to India, they are doing a great thing.
All right. Yeah, I think Deepak also has joined us. So Deepak, we were discussing about India is building a quantum hub. So what things they have to do to make it a successful mission?
Okay, so basically for the quantum computing, we require the infrastructure. That's the basic thing because without infrastructure, we cannot do anything. So that's one thing. Of course, we can use some of the online tools which is available. For example, using AWS provided quantum computing platform, we can use and we can use those services. But basically, the infrastructure is required to build this any kind of software, and then we can connect as normally we do. Like for example, in a classical computing we use the cloud for doing any computing and write the software and execute on the cloud. So similarly we can do similar kind of things, but before that one, and the India should have the proper infrastructure to set up this quantum computing, because it's not classical kind of computing infrastructure would be required, but it's a little bit different and it is too complex to have that kind of infra setup.
Okay. Now, what is as a quantum computing experts, what is your advice to any country who is building quantum capabilities?
Okay, so first thing, as I told now, is basically infrastructure is the one thing, but also the companies or the people who want to use and apply the quantum computing concepts, they need to understand in which area they want to apply it, because we cannot apply the quantum computing in every area. For example, if the computational processing is required, of course we can use the cloud, but still the cloud computing is very slow. So in that case, we can use the quantum computing. And an example, for example, uh, um, cryptography algorithms, processing of those kind of eye processing, and it takes more time in a classical computing. In that case, we can use the quantum.
Yeah.
So they need to understand what kind of use cases they need to use. Accordingly, they need to apply it.
Yeah. So
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
rightly he said. So to start with, any company, sorry, any country, they can definitely go for quantum infrastructure, definitely. And I would not more focus infrastructure, because infrastructure will be definitely given by a big company like Nvidia. I work with them. Then IBM. IBM is the pioneer of, I mean, the father of quantum computers. Then Nvidia, Toshiba. These are a lot of good company, right? The country who does this work, let's say implementing or setting up a big quantum computing hub, they should add a quantum programming, either quantum language programming or quantum computing fundamental to advanced program training within their country. Let's say when I was in kid, I know what is quantum mechanics or quantum physics, but I don't know what is quantum computer at that time, because my it is 1997. So my professor say, okay, there is a quantum, there is a qubit, there is zero, or zero and one would be together. Okay, this is a proton one, proton two, both will together bind together, entangle together, and they'll give superpower. That we understood. But now that theory has come to lab. Then lab is already declared we got a quantum computer, right? So I would say, no matter what state, what country, what capability we have, let's learn it. Let's get the more knowledge from the fundamental to advance. And then, as Deepak mentioned, cryptography, yes. If you standard classic computer you use for calculating or checking the cryptographic information, it will take many years to do. But whereas in quantum computer, it will do fraction of second or maybe millisecond or microsecond, right? That is the advantage of quantum computing in the world. We all should thanks to IBM, those who are giving the QSkit. It's a very free services they have given. But right now, I don't think so. They are offering a free. Somebody have to pay a little bit, but it is a very good tool to learn to start with.
Okay. So, how do you see the future of quantum computing? Like, so going forward, so what changes do you anticipate, or what advancements do you anticipate?
So the one changes I would like to, I mean, I'm still seeing that one changes is it need lot of infrastructure, ground level. That is one. In future also we need those kind of secured infrastructures, right? And then third one would be like it is not going to change the way AI is getting changed, right? It will be stable because it's a computer. And then another point, people, I think you didn't ask me that question. Generally, all the podcasts people ask me, even my seminar. Is quantum computing replacing classic computing? People ask me whether we'll be going to quantum computing. Everybody have a quantum computer. I said no. Quantum computers are not going to replace any classic computers or any of the smartphone. Whatever we are doing, we'll be doing using or doing the same for sure. But what quantum computer is going to add the value? Let's say we have a vehicle collision or a traffic management or a drug research or a cancer research. Like I did a lot of research in breast cancer for women, especially in the US and our South African country. So we can see the tremendous result there, and you can save a life, right? We can save a human life. And then let's say you are doing automation like automotive vehicles, like in a Tesla or Toyota or Honda, Hyundai, no matter what company, GM. So they are using quantum computer to do more production and less, let's say, I would say recall. For example, if you see recent time, Hyundai has recalled 500,000 vehicles due to no reason, or there will be reason. But if I have a quantum mechanics or quantum modeling, I can train my model in such a way, determine much before it recall, I can see what fault I have in my vehicle. I can correct that. As Gaurav is here, I believe he's a good friend of mine. So Gaurav is using his quantum computer in his banking, like synthetic fraud. We can prevent that, or any governance transaction. Let's say the blockchain transaction or cybersecurity transaction that can be easily achievable through quantum, and nobody can break the code. That's another challenge. Nobody, even the hacker is a excellent hacker. The hacking in quantum circuit is really impossible, next to impossible, until unless they have some blessing from God. I would say, which is not possible to hack.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now, not to put you on hot seat. So, Biswan, you had filed some, patents in quantum computing. I don't know if you can share that information, but anything that you would like to share in that regard?
Yes, Suresh, thank you. Thank you, team. So I have filed a few approved patent. I think 6 the patent till last year. Last year I filed 1. It is still pending, and this year we filed in AI Authority. We filed 3 patents. One of the patent is applicable to manufacturing. Like when you go to any manufacturing factory or plant, you will see the plant soft floor or plant activity or manufacturing processes, or whether it is discrete or repetitive manufacturing. We use a lot of tools and technology, right? We use a lot of interface, integration, a lot of data, a lot of process, a lot of team, a lot of things we're doing. Our patent is to streamline those, no matter what data we use, no matter what process we use, no matter what company we're using, whether drug manufacturer or it is a automobile manufacturing industry. Our idea is to reduce the workload, and it will streamline what tool you have to use. It will say, okay, you are using this old tool, 30-year-old tool. You can replace that, or you are using a new tool which is not required at all. You don't need to use. So this is called hybrid quantum cloud architecture view. So basically, you will use on-prem system. You will use cloud system, but this is a hybrid quantum architecture. So typically, when you use that, let's say you don't have a lot of funding to maintain that fund, because as I told you, a 50 qubit quantum computer is costing around $35 million US dollar, right? So in our patent, it will not go that level. It is under the $1 million, but it will work as a quantum hybrid cloud. And then the moment you want to switch on quantum computing, you can do that. You don't want quantum computing to work, then you can switch off to quantum computing and you can switch on the classic computer. So it has 2 properties. Then another patent we file, that is called cybersecurity aspect. Like, how do we prevent the synthetic fraud? As I mentioned, you are a customer, you're going to JP Morgan Chase, the banking teller. Before you reach to teller will scan your every information you have, who you are, what transaction you do, what transaction you are going to do today. So this is the things you can get through a neuromorphic quantum computing, which is very peculiar. It's not only banking applications we are going to do. You can apply in the healthcare. It is a lot of people lives can be saved. before the disease is spread across the body, we can save any organs, right? So the many things we can do together, right? Only thing is we have to test it and trial and then do the best for mankind.
All right. So, Deepak, you had joined a little late. So, what are your experiences in quantum computing? So, can you share some
So
insights?
my experience is mainly related to quantum computing for the high-end processing. For example, it could be cryptography related things, and wherein the classical computing takes more time and more processing time also will be required. So hybrid is one of the things which we are trying to connect with the cloud as well as the uh, normal quantum related platform, so that we can use both the connectivity to process and as we require it. So for example, some of the processing we will do it in cloud just using a normal classical computing, and in case the quantum is required for some of the algorithms, some of the processing where we require it, we switch to um, quantum related approach. So that's the main thing. So that will make our system um, cheaper and also faster as we require.
Okay, sounds good. So, I will open the forum to the participants. If you have any questions on, you would like to ask the panel members, please go ahead and you can ask the questions.
Yeah, hi all. This is Nagraj. So I have one question related to the hybrid model that our team was mentioning. Uh, how does this applications which work on top of the hybrid model, how do they switch between quantum and normal bitwise processing?
Okay, so there is a lot of libraries wherein we can use for those libraries. Particularly, the Python provides those libraries to switch, and also the infra like cloud, AWS, quantum computing platform provides those kind of services because it has both the things, right? Quantum is just additional to cloud which they added, so we can use those kind of platforms and tools to um, architect our solutions.
Okay.
Absolutely, that is one. And then second thing, as Deepak mentioned, like in a certain agents, you can do quantum agentic. For example, if you wanted to switch off your quantum device and continue to have a classic device, you can do so. That's all about my patent I told you. And then if the moment you want to switch on both, you can do. You want to switch on one at a time, you can do. So you want to do switch on, I mean, you want to work on the like parallel computing, you can do that. So there are a lot of way to do, and a lot of tools are available in the market nowadays because IBM provides, and then Azure Quantum, then Google Quantum, whatnot. We have been experiencing everywhere.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you for that. I have one more question. Would quantum computing, would be installable in satellites also in future?
Yeah, that is called quantum teleportation. You don't need to go to satellite to install the quantum computer. Yes, satellite is required. Satellite is required. That is called all the satellite connections, let's say telecom devices. We have a quantum teleportation. I'll send you some literature to Suresh. Maybe Suresh can share it with you. So if you look at quantum teleportation, that has a more capability than what current satellite does. Even your NASA, let's say space, or any of the successful space, like the space vehicles, right? You can manage that. You can apply to like intelligent traffic management solutions, like in any of the traffic management. It has a lot of applications. I do have certain research paper in that area. You can check in my Google Scholar or maybe my ResearchGate if you seems to be interested to. You can get that information.
Thank you.
Okay.
And one last question. Would quantum computer come to in a laptop level?
So as I told you, quantum computers are not replaceable by classic computers, or classic computers not replaceable by quantum computers. So we'll have a complementing factor. We are complementing each other. What I mean to say is, our left arm and right arm in a human body are not replaceable, right? Left arm will do left work, whereas the right arm will also right work. Like left brain, right brain, we have human brains, right? Similarly, sometime I think in 2040 or 2035 to 2040 range, we may see some devices, quantum related devices, but that is way long, right? We may see or we may not. But see, I'll tell you, have you seen the quantum physical computers? So it is very big, very messy. Lot of circuits. You will see it's gold plated. So I'll show you next time, because then
Yeah.
I'm in the road itself, so I can share my the physical computers I have little bit. The pictures I can show you. Even one of the prototype I make, you can see that it's a dummy, but you can see it's a very big. So you can't do the classic, but yes, you can. What we can, sorry, in the laptop. But you can do, what you can do is, you can do a hybrid version in a laptop. You can run that, like cloud versions, hybrid cloud. You can do that. Why to build a big computer? It takes 30 for $40 million, right? And
Okay.
it's a very highly sophisticated place. You have to have a lot of environmental challenges too. That's the reason in India, if you look at the Vizag government, I think Visakhapatnam, they're replacing the quantum quantum data center in Visakhapatnam, which is near to sea, and they have a land, they have a mountain, they have a very beautiful place to manage that. It's not easy to, right? So that's another challenge.
Thank you. And I just heard of articles or read of articles where there's a research which is going on the diamond atoms, right? So it's, I don't know which countries are highly focused on it. They are coming up with a few qubits, maybe 12 qubits, 20 qubits of kind of a computing which can be done not only at home, maybe in a small organizations. So I had
That
this
is,
presumption that, yeah.
yeah, you are right. Absolutely. There are many. See, when I say quantum, any quantum computer work on the qubits, right? Quantum qubits, quantum bit
Okay.
informations, that is zero
Correct.
and one both. So
Mhm.
when you make the quantum computers in your, let's say, even you can make your lab, your own place, you can do. There are many ways. One is trapped ion, which is very famous, and there is a diamond you mentioned, right? That is another one. So which will be less expensive and less. I mean, it's not that scalable, but it's the scalability is there still. You can do a lot of programming, parallel computing. You can do. So a lot of country like our country like our country, I mean India, China, US. Every country doesn't have everything, right? So I was talking to Middle East, they're planning, they're building that. So you can build that. It's not a big deal if you have a good knowledge in the physics, like quantum physics and quantum mechanics. You can definitely do and use any of the materials. Even I am researching a little bit material. Why not? Why can't we build it quantum computers with cheaper price to use certain material which is very cheap, very less expensive? Why do you go for copper? Why do you go for diamond? Or why do you go for trapped iron, right? So that research is still coming. It's not yet done. So maybe you can see soon, like a lot of scientists are working. It's not me or you. The whole world is running behind. So maybe we'll get soon.
Perfect. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just adding to this conversation, just one last
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
thing which I was trying to share. Thanks, Doc. Um, the way the panel has put across this discussion, right? So, thank you so much for this, and it is a very good platform to discuss on quantum computing. I'm really enthusiastic. I have a lot of enthusiasm to learn. That's why I joined this, and thanks for collaborating and sharing this experience with us.
You are most
Yeah.
welcome
One
anytime.
last question, the follow-up question of Nagraj. So most of the people now they're questioning that uh, do we need large language models, right? So they're thinking, small language models are enough for most of the AI use cases. So in that case, in a small language models, is quantum computing applicable, or do you think? Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great question, Suresh. I did one research work recently, means 2 months ago, with small language model, but I always use large language model. So there are certain challenges with respect to small language model, but if you look at the quantum.
Again,
I think we missed him.
yeah, you're breaking up, Biswan. I think he has a connection problem.
Is
Yeah.
it
I think we can use quantum teleportation next.
Yeah.
Yeah, if someone can answer this. How about
It
this
is possible to do.
fight?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Biswan,
thank you so much. You're back.
Sorry.
you
We were
you
not audible.
Oh, sorry,
yeah,
I'm
you're
not
not
audible.
audible for at least 1 minute or
Oh,
so.
I'm sorry for that. Yeah, sorry. Go ahead. You are asking something.
Yeah, small language models and quantum computing.
Yeah, it is going to work definitely for small language model or
Yeah.
maybe the large language model.
Mhm.
Yeah. Let's design something, right? For us, maybe whichever country you are or whichever tool you use or whichever the use case you have, no matter what, how tough, how difficult it is, but we can definitely address those challenges. It takes time. We have to be very patient and we have to wait till you get the result and application. So we can do that definitely.
I
All right.
just have one last question. Sorry for that.
No, no issue.
Would there be anything replacement for Python because Rust
No,
language
no,
is catching
no,
up
no,
so much
no, no, I don't think so. See,
fastest? Okay.
have you heard Java? Because I'm not a Java expert, but I know a little bit because Java is required for quantum computers. I know a little bit. I'm not expert in that.
Mhm.
Java programming is still there, right? Isn't it? Did Java got
It's
Java got a lot of time changes, but Java is not
yes.
replaceable, right? Similarly, Python is not going to replace. Maybe
Uh-huh.
there would be little version of Python will come. Do you know the quantum programming is nothing but your Python only, right? If you want to break the code, the circuit gates, those things, you have to do the Java programming,
Yeah.
the front end or back end. But you should have the Python for sure. There
Yeah.
is no such a way you have to replace Python to the other language or other APIs. No matter what API you use, what programming skill you use, Python would be definitely there for long.
Yeah. Definitely,
Until
it is there.
yeah,
Yeah.
until there is
Correct.
a new tools which replace Python
Mhm.
completely, I disagree on that because I don't
Mhm.
see Python will be replaceable by somebody. I mean, in at the moment, right? We don't know future. Future might be something else. We don't know it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. So what some of the articles which I do refer and follow up is like even in terms of Qiskit, which
Qiskit, yeah, IBM Qiskit,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. So, what I heard is either it's a cloud platform like Azure and even to AWS, they are slowly switching to the memory safe programming, right? So, it has been a big steps which has been taken not only in many countries. US is one of the major country where DRDO has issued some of the articles saying that uh, most of your applications should be memory safe and the speed, these kind of parameters which needs to be developed. So that is where my question
yeah.
was, would there
There is
be
a
any?
another model is in the market. I think SNN. It's coming. So like ANN, CNN, convolutional neural network, or artificial neural network. There is a SNN. Okay, so they call fire. Like they originated from one of the very old traditional Indian our system, like very 5,000 old system. That might change. I was doing little research, but I did not have confirmed thoughts anything. So that might change. But yeah, let's wait and watch, right? What is there? So we have to wait. So nobody was aware of like ChatGPT, right? Now everybody
Yeah,
is using ChatGPT, right? So every
yeah,
even school going kids are using ChatGPT, right? So it may happen.
absolutely.
We don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, we are in
Okay.
a wonderful era of transformation, and
Yeah, yeah.
we are very thankful for that. Yeah,
You
thank
will
you so
you will
much.
see. I'll tell you one of the quantum German and I mean Germany and the American. I mean America. We are researching. the quantum computing will drive the human being in certain
Absolutely.
state. Means when you say
Agree.
drive, will
Yeah.
be monitored, will be managed by those kind of programming soon. But
Absolutely.
how
Yeah.
soon we don't know. But we
Yeah.
will be getting there soon. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. Yeah.
Anytime.
Machines will take over.
All right.
All right. So any other questions before we wrap up? No.
Thank you, Suresh, for
Okay.
your
Yeah.
great
Thank you. It's a
opportunity.
lovely
I'm sorry
session.
I joined a little bit late. I was driving and
Okay.
also I was in a call. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you, the panel members, and thank you who all joined. This recording will be posted on LinkedIn and will be shared. Yeah. Okay. So thank you all. See
Thank you
you
very much.
in the next session.
Mhm.
Thank you all.
Thanks.
Have a good,
Thanks. Bye-bye. Bye.
good rest of the day. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
sir. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye bye.
Mhm.